What's up, guys? This is Core. I'm shipping out to Navy Basic Training. 2 days from now, I'm already in Mobile, ready to catch the shuttle to New Orleans, where I'm going to go to MEPS and then fly out to RTC. And since it is February 2021, there's a little different circumstances with the pandemic, and it's going to be absolutely freezing cold when I get there. So a lot of people say just pack light or show up with the clothes on your back. Let's start with the clothes that I'm going to be wearing when I get off that airplane in probably 0-degree temperatures. First, jacket. I got a lightweight but super warm, waterproof running jacket by On. It's a Swiss company. I run in it all the time, especially in cold, wet, nasty conditions. Still warm. As long as I'm moving and I'm not sitting still outside of the bus for a long time, I think I'll be alright. Next, on my legs, thermal sweatpants by Nike. I've even worn these in Greenland, so I know that I'm going to be warm enough to at least get me on and off that bus and into RTC. Got some throwaway gloves I got at Walmart. Even if I lose them, not going to hurt my feelings. Finally, a beanie, same company, On. Keep my head warm. Now that I've cut all my hair and all my beard off, my face is going to be pretty cold. Speaking of, got a buff. I can pull it up to my eyes. I'll have my mask on already. This will really keep the wind off, especially with the hood pulled over. And since I didn't get a depth shirt, they gave me a double XL, and I ended up giving it to my onboard recruiter to give to someone else. I simply have a navy blue long sleeve by Lululemon. So light, but hey, with all that other stuff on me, I'm hoping that I can get in and out without freezing my ass off to RTC. Alright, let's move on to what we're actually going to bring into the quarantine phase, which will be at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, and the rest of boot camp. What are we actually going to bring in and keep the entire time? Got this list of approved and required items from my onboarding recruiter at my last DEP meeting, so let's go over it. First, all recruits must have social security card and immunization records. I'm going to have this wallet. It's got my social in it, 2 forms of ID, driver's license, government ID card, a debit card, $40 in cash, and a phone card, which can be reloaded by my wife when I call her and if the minutes start to go down. Doubt I may even come close to using all that, but that's a nice option to have. So the wallet, going to have all my important items in there. As far as the immunization and a lot of other documents, I'm just bringing a plastic little folder that keeps all these documents in one place. They're not scattered everywhere if I have to take out my folder and head somewhere quickly. So it's got this little zipper on it, keeps everything secure. Start guide for quarantine. Everybody's should be well versed in everything that's in this. What we're going to be studying, getting ready to go to boot camp, memorizing the Sailor's Creed, 11 general orders of a century, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll have plenty of time to kill, so make sure you bring your book. Speaking of books, for quarantine, we're allowed 2 to 3 books. The longer the better, just in case we get double ROM'd, restriction of movement. If any of us have positive tests for COVID-19 or anyone in our quad test positive, we will be set back for an additional ROM of 2 weeks. Unfortunately, but true. So here's all my books. I got this gigantic book. Was given to me. If I have to throw it away at the end of quarantine, I won't care. Got a second long fiction novel. I'm looking forward to reading that. And more of a motivational book. This was recommended to me years ago by a coworker, Man's Search for Meaning. I think that'd be a good book to have before we go into this life-changing event of joining the military. So I think that I'm all set for my reading material. Now, as far as writing, address book. It's got all my addresses, important account numbers for my bank account when we set up our page. email addresses, phone numbers, anyone that I want to get in contact to while I'm at boot camp. I got all their information in this. Also, I can jot some new notes into it. I got an envelope inside that with some photos of my family and stamps, so you can write some letters home. Speaking of letters, I wasn't able to get any stationery, but I just got a college ruled composition notebook. It's lined, so I'll be writing notes in there and tearing them out, mailing them as letters if I have to. But I think once we go to the next on base, we should be able to get some better paper to write those letters home. So going back to the list, one form of identification must have a photo. Driver's license takes care of that. Another acceptable form of ID, U.S. passport, foreign passport, driver's license, U.S. military dependence card. I'm good. You know, you should be going all over this with your recruiter to make sure that you can check all those boxes. If you're married like me, going back to this folder, I got my marriage certificate, I got my daughter and wife's birth certificates, copies, so I don't lose any originals. A direct deposit form from my bank account. I didn't even know I could print that straight from my online banking, but I was able to. So I got that ready to set up direct deposit for my paycheck. And since I'm an NAT sailor, new Ascension training, I needed a copy of my current lease or mortgage statement. So I printed out the mortgage statement, and I have that in here. So all of that, plus my toiletries, which I've got in this little bag here. Once I get my hair growing back, I got some hair paste, easy to use, little pinch, keeps my hair in place. Comb, no pointy edge so you can't stab anybody, just a little plastic comb. Deodorant, and this has been suggested by several former sailors of boot camp and by my recruiter, moleskin to prevent blisters. I use something similar to this when I go on long runs. Never had any issues with blisters using this stuff, so I think for between your toes or on the back of your heel, even these uncomfortable black boots that we have to start out wearing, I think this is going to be something that prevents blisters. So that's all the stuff that's going into quarantine and into boot camp with us. If I gotta ditch the books once I'm done with quarantine, I don't really care. Donate them, throw them in the trash. It doesn't matter. Like, that's all. Everything besides my list of documents and my wallet is disposable. How am I going to keep all that organized once we get our sea bag on night of arrival? This should look familiar. I've made sure that everything fits into this tote bag, so I can simply throw it into the sea bag and get on the bus to go to Fort McCoy. Here. And just to prove that all of this should fit, we will quickly throw it all in here. And for the most part, it's all organized, just this stuff hanging loose, but that's not going to be that big of a problem. There you go. Alright, so we no longer have to ship all of our civilian belongings home. They go in a cardboard box on night of arrival. Everything that we don't take to quarantine and boot camp goes in this box, and we get the box back after graduating. So this is going to allow us to stash some stuff that we want in case we're put in temporary holding before we go to A school, or when we quarantine at A school, or if you just want this immediately with you before you go start your schooling. For me, I'm in a situation, since I'm joining the reserves, that I'm going to have quite a few things I need to check on or take care of once I get out of boot camp. So I'm bringing my laptop. I know that this goes totally against the pack lightly suggestion, but like I said, I'm not in a position where I can just be offline for 3 months and not immediately check on some things. So I do have my HP laptop. It's thin, light, shouldn't be too much of a storage issue or weight on the airplane. phone charger. You're going to stash your cell phone after calling home to tell people that you made it safely. So the phone will go in the box. Got to have a charger waiting for you to charge it up. And outlets might be kind of scarce depending on where we're waiting to move on to A school. So I have a portable battery by Anchor. This is going to last a really long time. I've never even come close to using all the juice when I've had to charge multiple things at once, like cell phones or MP3 player. I'm sure like you, or like me, you don't want to be stuck wearing the tighty-whitey, skivvy underwears. So I'm bringing my comfortable boxer briefs that I usually wear, a couple pairs. So that's really the most of the space that's going to be in my backpack, which is this thing right here. I got it from Walmart for 15 bucks. It's a really heavy-duty, durable book bag. I've used one of these in the past, a larger one, but I just wanted to make sure I only had the size that I needed to store all my stuff. I didn't want to take a lot of space up in that box, so this is the book bag I'm going to be using. Laptop goes in. My extra pairs of underwear, battery pack, charger. And I also put in a plastic bag everything that normally goes in my wallet when I'm walking around the civilian world. I'm going to want all those things back, like my health insurance card and a few other cards, credit cards, whatever. So I put them in a plastic bag. I'm just going to stash it in my book bag until we get out of boot camp. And extra masks. Extra masks have been suggested to bring, especially the black color. I guess that's one of the colors we're maybe allowed to wear post boot camp. So I got a couple black ones from CVS. Cloth, comfortable, should be something that comes in handy. And this is going to be my personal suggestion for anyone that does bring a laptop. We're going to get a ID card when we're in boot camp, military common access card, CAC. So you're going to use that to log on to military sites, DoD sites, and sign documents. It's not going to do you any good unless you have a card reader on your laptop, or we have to trek all the way to some computer lab. You can bypass that hassle by getting one of these, which is a card reader, USB access that you just plug into your laptop. That way, if you do have to log into any .mil sites or sign any documents like your page 2 to get your dependents ID cards, having this right when we graduate and your laptop should save you a ton of time. So that's going in there too. So this backpack plus the clothes that I come to RTC wearing, that's what's going to go into that cardboard box. Should not be an issue with any space. We're not going to have to throw away anything or donate anything. It should all fit in there. So hope you found some value out of this video. I've seen a lot of helpful videos from people that have graduated recently during the pandemic era of boot camp, as well as some helpful threads on Reddit. So I've just researched everything, compiled all the knowledge beforehand, so I can make this video and hopefully help some of y'all out, because I know that as this day has finally gotten near, I'm trying to just make it as hassle-free as possible, getting from point A to point B, going from MEPS to the airport up to RTC and then beyond once we graduate. So check out more videos that are going to be coming once I get out of boot camp. I'll probably come back and address anything in this video that ended up not being true or not as helpful as I thought it would be. And you live and you learn, but luckily you get to learn from any mistakes that I make. So hit subscribe, check out these videos that are coming down the pipeline in the future, and good luck.